Hi, my name is Nanna Aida Svendsen and it's November and it's a classic dark and stormy night. The moon is full and the clouds are scurrying across the sky and there's a need to cozy up and be warm and feel protected. And the garden tells its tale of it being November. Leaves have been torn from the trees and scurrying across by the window, and it seems to be readying itself now. The season is readying itself now for the winter to come. And there's a sense in me and in the garden when I go out there of a sort of softening, a need to soften and deepen into ourselves and paring down life. I noticed when I looked at the trees, you could see all the little birds' nests, they were all revealed. And it's almost like paring down to the essential structure of things. And so too for us, perhaps. Perhaps it's a time actually of softening and deepening into the genuine in ourselves. I've heard it say that the road home is always a letting go. So it's not a building up, it's actually a letting go of all the structures and thoughts and ideas that have kept us away from ourselves. Emotional wounds, the expectations, and so as the garden softens and deepens into itself, maybe we too can soften and deepen into ourselves. And I'd like to read you a poem, a short poem. It's in The Touch of Nordic Light, and it's called Season of Letting Go. Because I don't know for you, but I have been feeling that this is a season of letting go. You can see it in the garden, but I can also feel it in myself. I feel like it's been a chance to revisit some of the old forms that have held me in their grip, that are really no longer supporting a deeper truth and a deeper reality of my life. And actually to have the courage to give them name, and in the giving name to them, allowing them too to soften and perhaps, if they're ready, to release, and to allow any grief that may be there, because there's grief in the garden too. You can see it in all the little raindrops hanging off the little rose hips, and you can feel it. And I think of grief as two things really, a way of completing things. So if you won't grieve, you won't complete. But I also think it's a way of recognizing, or grief emerges when you recognize that something has been missing. And in that recognition sometimes comes the grief of having lost oneself, if you will. And then in the space that clearing the grief allows, or that in allowing the grief, comes the opportunity to reconnect with, to invite something deeper and truer to emerge. So, and I've also heard it said, and I think it's true, you only grieve what you love. So if you love or have loved something in life and lost it, that will also call forth the grief. So on a dark November night, it's that kind of time. I don't think it's a bad time though. I think it's a very rich and full time under this blood red full moon. Not that it's been blood red here in Scandinavia, but I know in parts of the world, because it's been a full moon and because of an almost total eclipse, the longest lasting eclipse in 570 years, that in parts of the world it has been visible as a reddish moon, blood moon. So So here is a poem for the season. It's called Season of Letting Go. And the last stanza is a question to myself and to you. Here we go. Season of letting go. Damp and grey beyond the window. Mounds of raked leaves upon the lawn. A cluster of red apples holding on to a naked tree. A cluster of red apples holding on to a naked tree, well beyond their time. This is a season of letting go. And I find myself in wondering, what am I holding on to? What am I holding on to? What are you holding on to? Well beyond its time. What am I? What are you holding on to? Well beyond its time.